Hey men, I'm Keith Enix. Welcome to day 4 of our 30-day Proverbs study. Today we're going to be looking at Proverbs chapter 4. And in that, a key verse, Proverbs 4:23, which tells us to guard our heart. So let's go ahead and read this together. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything that you do flows from it. So what you do in your life, what you allow in your heart, ends up steering the rest of your life. Have you ever, before going to bed, uh, if you're like me, you probably walk around the house and you probably lock your doors. Make sure that the garage door is locked and all the windows and everything. Well, have you ever woken up in the morning and you find that maybe you left one of the doors open or you left one of the doors unlocked? Well, usually there's kind of a pit feeling in your stomach and you think, what got in? Well, in the same way, our hearts, without the right boundaries, can allow things into our lives that are not truth. They're actually hidden lies that affect every area of our life. Now, Solomon's not preaching. He's warning his son here that over time, the unguarded things that we allow into our lives can affect our relationships, the decisions we make, and the attitudes that we have. So maybe like for me, if I've unguarded my heart, I'm not as kind to my wife and my kids. I'm living in non-truth or unreality instead of living in love towards them and love towards others around me. Same things with my employees. Maybe I'm making decisions that aren't really for the long-term good of employees. And then, of course, part of that is making sure you've got the right accountability feedback loop in your life so that people who love you can tell you, hey, you're off. And when someone tells you you're off, if your response is, how dare you? Well, that's definitely another sign that maybe you've let some things into your lives, some unguarded non-truths in your lives, and you actually need to really heed and listen to them if they're giving you feedback. John Mark Comer, in his book Live No Lies, says we don't fall for obvious lies. Like today, if I told you that Elvis Presley is alive and lives in Seattle, you definitely got that one figured out. That's not true. But we fall for half-truths. Maybe it's something along the lines of, I think you're a little too far behind in life. Or maybe I don't earn enough money. And some of those things might not seem like big deals. Like, okay, yeah, earning more money could be good. But usually lies come in the form of 95, 99% truths, and there's just a little bit of non-truth connected to it. Sometimes we call this spiritualizing our sin even. These lies can shape our inner life, and over time, it's just a small direction change. But if you keep on going down that route, it ends up being a massive direction change from truth, which is reality, the reality that we want to live in and the wisdom that we want to have and exercise in our life. So, what unwise things are creeping into your hearts? What's a small lie maybe that you've been living like it's true? And where do you need to reset mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Let's take some action on this. Sit down and just for 10 minutes. And it takes about 5 to 7 minutes for the mind to stop fighting you, sitting and trying to be still, and start thinking about things that are true, are lovely. Start thinking about Philippians 4:8 in your life. And even allow the random things that come into your mind, even those cliff thoughts per se, to come in and just recognize them for what they are. And I kind of think of swiping them away, and replace those with thoughts that are true, that are wise, that are loving. And if needed, go ahead and take longer. Build rhythms of this in your life. Ideally, every single day you're meeting with God and you're working on resetting your mind. Every single morning when I get up, I tell people I feel very open and my mind is everywhere. And it's those things that we do in the morning that can help us just hone in. And two of those things that I do are, one, I need to exercise. And exercising gets the heart rate up. There's a lot of physical things going on there, but also it's a mental discipline. And I say 10 minutes, if you just exercise for 10 minutes, and that could be just getting on a bike for 10 minutes, that could be a treadmill, but you need something 10 minutes to get your heart rate up, somewhere between 130 and 150 beats per minute. If you do that for 5 to 7 minutes, what you're going to find is these things are going to be going through your mind if you're doing this every day, like, are you going to do this every day? Or let's get this done as fast as possible so we can get back to whatever else, which is usually nothing. There's nothing more beneficial I could be doing. But after about 5 to 7 minutes of just working that, swiping those thoughts to the side and saying, you know what, we're going to be present right now for the next 10 minutes on this. You'll start to feel your body warm up and focus. Your mental focus will go from this wide to this narrow focus. And then the second step is being ready spiritually in the same way. It's the same thing. When we sit down, when we meditate, when we get silent, and we're letting our thoughts dwell on the things of God, and even letting our thoughts kind of wander for a little bit and swiping those away and saying, you know what, okay, we're going to just let that go for 5 to 7 minutes, and we're going to let God saturate our thoughts, our hearts, and our minds. You'll find that your focus goes from just this really general to this very specific, weaponized mind that we need as men. And so if you do those two things, if you're weaponizing your body in fitness, if you're weaponizing your body in faith, and you're ready for the day, well, now you've put on the armor. You've put on that Ephesians chapter 6 armor of God in your life, and you're ready for battle. If you just wake up with a hope and you're not focusing on putting those boundaries in place and getting yourself prepped and ready to guard your heart, then you're going to find yourself not reaching the goals that you really want in your life, not really being the person that you know you should be. And one of the biggest indicators that we're not doing this is how we treat others around us. I think this is why love God and love your neighbor as yourself. Loving your neighbor as yourself is kind of the test for us, the easy test. How do you think about them? Are you angry? Are you angry with the feedback that people give you? Are you angry with the critic, your inner voice, and how your inner voice talks to you? How are you in relation to judging other people? Now, obviously, judging, people that people say don't judge. That's not true. It's how you're judging. It's recognizing, as Jesus said, the log in your own eye versus the speck in someone else's eye. That we're judging because actually we have a problem in and of ourselves that needs to be dealt with, and not because we're truly thinking of the best for that other person to encourage them. So think about that. Take some time, and at least 10 minutes here today, and let's pray that the God would help us to guard the door of our hearts and keep us alert, give us clarity and strength to lead from truth today. So thanks for joining me today, guys, and we'll see you next time.